Ladies and gentlemen, it is once again breakout time. On December 7th, we are joined by 12 amazing fights, 4 title fights for Judgment Day, the biggest and baddest breakout event yet. And speaking of the biggest and the baddest, today we have two of the most hyped individuals in the scene, especially the one sitting to my left. This is our main event of the evening. We are joined by the real Intrepid, who was victorious on Breakout '04 New World Order, our previous event. And then, of course, we are joined by Mr. COO, your mother's favorite fighter, Lezra Gomez. One is coming for redemption, but both are coming for the Breakout Titan Weight Championship. Gentlemen, we're going to get into how we got into this fight soon. But how are we feeling here today?
Go ahead, Intrepid.
I feel good. I'm glad to be here. I'm excited for this fight, and I was actually excited for the face to face too. First time in a while, kind of seeing my opponent. Talking to him and all that. So, you know, I'm excited. I'm ready. I'm happy.
As usual, this ain't nothing new for me. These face to faces, always where I shine the most. I know Intrepid ain't really wanting the back and forth on Twitter and all that. So now's the chance to have a little bit of something. So just
All
ready to
right.
go.
All right, gentlemen. Well, listen, I'll take it back to July 27th, okay? Intrepid was victorious over Mark Flames, someone very close to the breakout team and Lezra Gomez, okay? Lezra Gomez decided right there and then that he wanted to fight you on December 7th. Now, Raul, you felt the pressure, but you were like, okay, we might as well do it. All right. And of course, this fight was originally a big beef fight, and it still is. However, we now have the title on the line. So, how are you guys feeling going into this fight? Not only physically, but mentally, because you guys are not only fighting for this championship, you guys are fighting for completely different causes. I know Lezra completely changed up his plan to fight Real Intrepid. So, if he wants to speak on that first, and then we'll go to Raul.
Yeah, so I guess basically I'll just give a little deep dive into the whole thing because you kind of started talking about it with the Mark fight. So a lot of people, and I guess the initial push was the Mark fight. Obviously, we seen he beat Mark on Breakout '04. But there's a lot of reasons to why I want this fight. A lot of people, whether they know or don't know, Intrepid came into the scene just speaking my name, speaking Breakout's name, and while he has apologized and took back those words since, but I'm a man who holds grudges. I mean, one way or another, whether it was a spar or a real fight. I don't know how. I even say it all the time. I don't know how 2 events in I've never sparred Intrepid, but it's like I say, I got to get it back, either spar or a fight. So it's multiple reasons why this fight has happened. The Mark fight definitely pushed it over the edge. But how I feel mentally and physically, my last few fights, they weren't the best performance fight. I had a lot going on, no excuses, but this time, we're going in. I guess I could say that the top of my game. You know what I mean? This is going to be the best I come mentally, physically, and I hope I get the same from Intrepid.
Intrepid, obviously, you're on the other side of the aisle of this Titan Weight Championship fight. There's a lot of pressure going into this fight, obviously, because last time you were in the ring, it was your high stakes redemption fight. Okay, going from a high stakes redemption fight to a high stakes beef fight and a high stakes title fight. How are you feeling both physically and mentally?
In terms of physically, I know I have to push myself way harder because it is a huge jump. It definitely is because after the loss, so with DDK, I then took a redemption fight with Mark. And after winning that, out of like nowhere, Lester walked in the ring, called me out, wanting a main event. He was like, how, me, you, Lester versus Intrepid main event, Atlanta, Georgia, in Breakout 5. And I was like, okay, yeah, I deal. I shook it up. And it was like at the moment too. and kind of like seeing how like everything is right now. Definitely is a little pressure, but it is what it is. It's a fight game. Uh, yeah, we just pushing harder for this fight. Now that it's a title fight, it's a high stakes fight. Yeah.
Absolutely. Your expectations going into the fight, with Lezra Gomez, what are you expecting from him, in the ring on December 7th? We've seen him, in his most valiant display in the exact same place last time. So, do you think that you are going to be able to mend that pressure on December 7th? Not only, in the ring, but also, he's going to be the hometown, favorite. 100%. So that has got to be a lot of pressure. So what is your expectations from him, not only as a boxer, but the fight itself?
I feel like the expectations for the fight is definitely it's gonna be it's definitely gonna test my mentality a little bit. Like it's his hometown exactly, and sorry, give me 1 second. Yeah, never mind. There. But yeah, I am very sorry. Give me 1 sec. In the meantime, can you ask me a question, Lezra?
All right, Lesra. Well, I guess I'll ask you this question. Last time you were in the ring, it wasn't the greatest. Okay, you had to display against Iza, and that was okay. But your biggest display, your most valiant display, was of course against Trey Ingram in your hometown, in your home state of Georgia. Okay. Obviously, you have been saying that you're coming in as an entirely different fighter. You're here to show the levels and actually put in the time. So, what is your expectation from Intrepid going into the ring and the fight itself? And not only that, how has your training camp been? Because I feel like this time you can go a bit more in depth to show us what you've been working on if you want to.
For the fight with Intrepid, what I expect. Me and Intrepid have talked a little bit online back and forth. He does say he's going to bring a little bit of a different fighter than the Mark fight. I don't really believe that. I think we're going to see the same Intrepid as we've seen in the Mark fight. I've been learning on how to capitalize off pressures. Especially we're both big guys, so a big guy like that, nonstop in my face, just wailing punches. You know what I mean? Definitely been a big focus because he's not a boxer. We're not, neither of us are boxers, but I mean specifically him. He hasn't really showed no skills yet as a boxer. So I think I go in there, do my game plan. Like I said, I want 5 beautiful rounds of boxing, 5-0 masterclass. I'm sweeping on the scoreboards. So I just don't think anything he got is going to be good enough. And I guess I'm not going to say too much, but a little bit inside. Just for training camp wise, I'm just, like I said, it's no excuses for my last fight, but I'm just training. You know what I mean? I haven't trained for none of my other fights. Literally, what Botfi and Ant like to call a raw off the couch special. That's all I've been trying to do so far. It's only worked once. So, but now I'm actually taking this fight serious. I do think Intrepid, although I say he can't really compete with me, I do think he is going to be one of my harder fights I've had. So I definitely am taking this a lot more serious. Like I said, I'm training, stepping it up more and more as it gets closer to the fight, and I think I'm just gonna be more than ready come fight night.
Absolutely. And I have another question, obviously, for you. Not only does he have immense pressure going into the fight, you also do as well. You're fighting in front of your home crowd. You're fighting not only for redemption, but you're also fighting for the title. So, like, how do you feel like you're going to be able to deal with that pressure on December 7th, 2024? Because again, I feel like this is gonna seem weird coming from me, obviously, because you know me, we run the company, but obviously you're the biggest name in our scene. So that's a lot to live up to. And I can imagine that you intend on living up to it come December 7th. So I wanted you to talk a little bit more about that and how it's going to affect the fight.
Weirdly enough, I honestly I don't feel a lot of pressure at all. I'd say the only pressure I will feel is just fighting in front of my family again. In the same arena as last time. Because it's kind of just it's like the Trey fight. Like I say it a couple times. Like the fight I was the most scared for, like most nerves, was that Trey fight, and it's not because of my opponent, obviously, because it was Trey Ingram, but I think it was just the atmosphere itself. it definitely puts us some kind of different mindset that you want to perform well in front of your people. You don't want to make a mistake. So I think last time it worked to my advantage, and I think this time I think it will as well. It's definitely going to be a lot more people this time around because we got a lot more names on the card, bigger names. But I don't feel much pressure at all. When I think about the fight, the title's not even on my mind. You know what I mean? I don't think of that at all. The title is just like another extra cherry on type talk, as they like to say. So there's no pressure on my side, in my opinion.
Intrepid, I'm gonna ask the same question over to you. You have a lot of pressure coming into this fight.
Yeah.
Not only from the entire community, not only from certain individuals in the community, not only from the actual fight itself and from the title, but obviously your opponent himself. Like he has not laid off the gas in terms of saying how he feels about you, how you look, how you talk, how you walk. So how is that motivating you at all going into the fight? And do you think it is going to affect the outcome on either side going into December 7th?
Just it's not really affecting me. I'm gonna be honest. Like the whole talk and all that. It's not really on my mind. It's not affecting my plan. What's really been my motivation so far is to keep on going. My redemption ain't stopped since my last fight. Is to continue going, and I feel like, and I believe this championship fight is definitely gonna help me like boost my name even more, and this win is gonna do a lot for me. So I feel like I need to win this. This is my chance. Uh, so everything that's been said, the whole back and forth, it is not really on my mind. What's really on my mind, what's my biggest motivation, is to keep pushing forward, to keep pushing my name up, and to get more respect out of this community.
Absolutely, that seems like a good answer. Lezra, I'm gonna ask you another question. You've said a lot about Intrepid over the build-up, even before the fight even began, like pretty much as you touched down back in Georgia, knowing that's where the next event was going to be, knowing that you're going to main event, knowing that there's going to be a lot of things that are going to happen. You put the gas on the pedal on the gas right away. So is that how you truly feel about Intrepid, or maybe it potentially could even go much deeper? Pause, because there's a lot of emotions going into this fight. You know what I mean? Obviously, Mark is very close to you. You obviously did not like seeing him lose. Obviously, your last outing wasn't what you wanted to display. So, how are you feeling about that specifically, and how do you truly feel about Intrepid? Because I don't think it's going to change, but I think maybe you can give us a bit more perspective instead of just trash talking on the build-up, because there has to be something behind it.
I mean, realistically, I wouldn't say there's any like deep hatred for Intrepid. Nothing too deep. I do want to get back for Mark. I think Mark worked extremely hard in this camp. I mean, even we've seen it every night. We was getting constant updates, and to see that get taken away from somebody who I think is way less skilled than Mark Flames, and the way that he got it done, I think is just I just think it wasn't good, and I think I could beat him, and like I said, get that back up for Mark, and like I said, it plays even better into the like I said the past and how he came into the scene just from speaking on my name, all that shit talk. You know what I mean? I got even like I said he apologized. I gotta show people that whenever you shit talk me or breakout, bro, eventually you got to pay for it, man. I'm a man who holds grudges. I'm a very petty guy. Hate it or love it. That's who I am. So what I'm saying. I gotta tell people how to shut the fuck up and not talk on shit they don't know about.
Absolutely, a man of his word. Obviously, you guys both have your own motivations and stuff like that going into the fight. We've heard about those, but obviously, this fight is for the Titan Weight Championship. There's been a lot of talk about it online, as there always is with anything surrounding breakout boxing, but this especially, okay? and it's a battle between two big titans of this community, no pun intended. So going into this fight, what do you think your strongest asset is? I'm gonna ask it over to Intrepid, and then Lezra can answer after.
Uh, my, I, I'm sorry. Can you actually ask the question again?
Strongest
Because you were
asset,
kind of cutting.
Intrepid.
I'm sorry. Like my connection's kind of bad right now.
No, it's fine. I just want to get the message through, man.
Yes.
Strongest
Yeah.
asset.
Strongest asset. I feel like for me, the best thing for me is my volume. Because looking back in my last fight, I feel like I threw a lot of good. I threw a lot of punches. I landed a good amount, and and yeah, like I said, I didn't think I really showed much, to be honest, for my last fight. I feel like I could have done a lot better. That's why for this fight, I'm planning to like look back at a lot of my old stuff and a lot of my current stuff and see what I could fix from there. And hopefully, December 7th, you can see like a more improved Intrepid.
Lezra?
Oh, I think I got two major strengths over Intrepid. I think punch diversity. I think I have way more, I guess, in my bag. You could say in Intrepid. I feel like I bring a lot more to the table as like a boxer. And second is just strength. You know, we're both big guys, but I think I pack a lot more of a punch than Intrepid does. And this fight's supposed to be no headgear. And Intrepid doesn't take punches very well to the body. But I think my power alone, I think he can't take a lot to the head either. So I think it's a win-win regardless. So that's my two strengths: punch diversity, and power.
Absolutely. And this is kind of a reverse of the last question. I'll ask it to Lezra and then to Intrepid. Um, what do you think your opponent's biggest weakness is? You know, everybody has their Achilles heel. Some better are at hiding it or defending it. I don't want you guys to answer for yourselves. I want you guys to answer for each other. So, Lezra, what do you think Intrepid's biggest weakness is? And Intrepid, what do you think Lezra's biggest weakness is? We'll go to Lezra first and then Intrepid.
Again, I think Intrepid has two big weaknesses. I think the obvious, from especially with most heavyweights, is the gas tank. We've never seen Intrepid out of one round. If Mark didn't quit after the first round, I know good and well Intrepid was about to. So Intrepid ain't made out the first round, so I know that gas tank is not good. Second is him being able to take a punch, whether it's a fight or whether it's a spar against DDK heavyweights or Zay Castro that's a lightweight or a featherweight. You know, he's like 120 pounds. Intrepid does not know how to take a punch. He doesn't react very well at all. We've seen him touch the ground, canvas, whatever you want to say, plenty of times. Um, and I think that definitely is a big weakness of his, and I get to exploit that December 7th.
Intrepid.
I feel like Lezra's biggest weakness as well would definitely be cardio as well, because we're like you said, we're two big guys. We're titan weights for this fight, and for a 5 round bout, it's gonna be interesting to see like who lasts longer. And I also feel like Lezra's defense isn't too great either. I feel like he can get easily landed on. So yeah, I feel like those are definitely two weaknesses. So I hope for his camp he improves, because I do, like I said before, I do want the best Lezra, because for camp I am training hard, I am improving, so I definitely do want this to be a great fight. Like I want this to be like a war.
Well, all right. Gentlemen, I have two
Boy, brother.
questions. What'd you say, Lezra?
I'm just saying, definitely gonna get a war because, like I've said plenty of times before, although I do think it's gonna be a hard fight, I think I'm gonna make it look very easy. Um, we haven't seen you box yet. I know I can outbox you 10 times. I don't think you can touch me in any category boxing wise. And I think if your game plan is to go in there and box, like I said, I think I'm gonna have a clean ass 5-0 sweep, like sweep the scorecards, beautiful masterclass. If you come out there in a brawl, We've seen you brawl against Mark. We've seen me brawl against Trey Ingram. We were both way bigger than our opponents. I got my shit done in 60 seconds. Not even the full round. So we know how it goes when we
I
both.
mean, we can't really compare Mark and Trey because our even though the size difference was definitely big.
It's way more skillful. Yeah, Mark's way more skillful.
And
but it's still
not only that, like Trey was like, didn't you say he was like around 200 something, and you were like 290? Like that's a way bigger difference than what mine was with Mark, too. So
had about a 60 weight difference. I had about an 80 weight difference.
And not only that,
but regardless of that big weight difference, you almost quit and you struggled, even though you dominated that first round. That shit was terrible, dog shit performance. You were struggling in that fight. In my fight, when I had the big weight difference, I got that motherfucker out there in under a minute. Under a minute. So if you want to brawl with me, I'm whooping your ass. If you want to box with me, I'm tearing you up. Regardless of all this hard work and all this dedication you think you're doing, it ain't gonna be enough. It really ain't.
Let's see if you land it. Let's see if you land it.
More than one, brother. You get hit with combinations.
You're gonna be slipping around once I bring the baby oil. Fuck, the filter's like, all right, whatever.
What we're gonna be doing is when you're back crying over the fucking trash cans outside when mommy and daddy ain't picking up.
Oh, that's funny.
It was pretty funny. The video is actually hilarious.
That's cool.
Time afterwards.
What's up?
Are they gonna pick up this time? Tell after the fight, you're like, unfortunately, I didn't get the job done. It was a good fight though. You know, I put up one good of a fight, but I just couldn't get it done. They don't put that through. Don't leave another voicemail.
I mean, you could wish that all you want, but that's definitely not gonna happen. But that's a funny prediction. I do like that.
I make the benches are clean outside for you to lean up on again.
Well, all right.
You got any more questions?
I have one more question, obviously. You guys are fighting for the Titan Weight Championship. There is a lot to be seen. There's a lot to be said. You know, obviously, you guys are going to have interviews. You guys have behind the gloves. So you guys are the main event, and there is a lot of pressure on this, and pressure makes diamonds. Is there any final words to each other and any final predictions? I know you guys have said it before in this face-to-face, but I'd love to get a stamp on it. And do we have any clauses? Do we have anything that we want to put on the line for this fight other than the title?
I do want to make a bet.
Okay.
Lezra, if I win, God's plan, if I win, can I get my own breakout event in Chicago? Can I get one breakout event in Chicago?
Sure. We do that Chicago event.
All right. And if I lose, I do want to fund Ant's next event with Jay's. I'll pay Jay's trip. We can make that main event or co-main event.
Like 6 or 7, whatever. Cool.
So the bet, let me get this straight. So if Intrepid is to be victorious, okay, he is going to have a potential breakout event in Chicago. But if Lezra wins, Jays is getting his trip paid for to fight Ant Mills, or vice versa. Okay. All right. Well, it seems like that's out in the open. Any final words and predictions before we get out of here on this Breakout Digital face-to-face?
My final prediction, it's going no less than 3. Like I said, I want a 5-round master class, but realistically, it's going no less than 3 rounds. Your mother's favorite champion is coming home. And this is foreshadowing, but when I win, y'all gonna see me with my beautiful white belt hosted around my waist with "Champion" by Kanye West layering in the speakers, and we all gonna take that good old picture, that little champ picture. Me, my man Vot5, my man Ant Mills, DDK, and my man Pat Ty Flusen after he knocks out Augustin bitch ass on December 7th as well. Main and co-main event, we knocking y'all motherfuckers out, bro. When we taking these belts, CEO and COO type shit.
Listen, I'm not involved in this, but I'm not involved in this, but fuck Augustin, bro. Let's just be real, you know. Like,
Yeah, I'm staying out of that one because I know Lesnar wanted to make this like a breakout versus royalty thing with Augustin and you, DDK and Pineda, Lesnar and me. But I'm not even thinking about it like that at all. I'm thinking about it as just me and Lesnar. Because at the end of the day, you, DDK, anyone else can win their fights, but it's all gonna be down to me and Lesnar. At the end of the day, no one's gonna save him. That ring is gonna be just me and him.
All right.
Just make sure you get to know Eddie Morris real nice. That he gonna be hugging up on you after the fight when he waves it off. Eddie Morris a nice man, trust me.
Shout out Eddie Morris. Shout out Eddie Morris. Is that it, gentlemen? Is that all we got to say?
Yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Lezra, is that all you got to say, man?
I'll see you in a couple of days or maybe a week when we do our behind the gloves. I got
Oh, I
more to
cannot
say
wait for
there,
that one.
of
Behind the
course.
gloves. I've been wanting to do one. I can't even lie.
Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first from the Titan weight contenders. Lezra Gomez versus Intrepid going down on December 7th, 2024. Tickets will be available on Eventbrite, so stay tuned for our social media links. And if they are in the description, you can go check them out right now. Our event is going to be live December 7th as well, free on the Breakout Live YouTube channel. So if you cannot join us in person, you can get the action just as is in person, live on Breakout Boxing Live. We will see you at the fights, ladies and gentlemen.